Please tell others to join us. I'm sharing my screen now. Can you see the screen? Are you able to see the screen? Hello? Okay, Adarsh. Okay, okay, man. Okay. So where did we stop last class? Where did we stop? Anyone please respond? Domain and range of a relation R, isn't it? We have a relation R, then we have to find how do you find the domain, how do you find the range, then how do you find for a relation R, what is R inverse, what is R complement, etc. We have discussed all those in the last class, isn't it? Do you remember what is R complement? What is R complement? Complement of a relation R. What do you mean by complement of a relation R? Anyone? Anyone please respond? What do you mean by complement of a relation R? What is complement? Nobody knows? Now please respond. Okay, those ordered pairs, isn't it? Relation contains ordered pairs, isn't it? So those ordered pairs which are in the cross product but not in the relation, not included in the relation R, and that forms the complement of a relation. Is it clear? Those in the cross product or those in A cross B which are not in the relation R forms the complement of the relation. Those ordered pairs which are not in the relation but in A cross B, they form complement of the relation. Then what is inverse? What is inverse of a relation R? What do you mean by inverse of a relation R? Anyone? What do you mean by inverse of a relation R? All ordered pairs BA such that AB is an element of R, isn't it? It is the set of all ordered pairs. Inverse. Inverse of a relation R. Inverse of a relation R means if you have a relation R is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, then R inverse is equal to, what is R inverse? Can you say what is R inverse? What is R inverse? As per this, what is R inverse? Can you just type in the chat box what is R inverse? Are you there? 40, I'm sure 40 of you are there, but nobody is responding. What is R inverse? R inverse is simply reverse these ordered pairs. So this is the inverse of first ordered pair and this is the inverse of the second ordered pair. This is R inverse. Okay. So we had studied what is R inverse. Then R complement means those that are in A cross B. Suppose you have A is equal to, suppose you have A is equal to 1, 2, then A cross B. A cross B is equal to the ordered pairs 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Okay. So here this is, okay, then we make it 1. Okay. this ordered pair, I have just written it simply. So, suppose you have A cross B as A is not given. Okay, I'm just taking A cross B only. There are certain elements in A cross B, and A cross B includes certain elements, etc. And we have okay, so 3, 4 also is here. Suppose A cross B is some element. I am not giving you what A and B is. Just these are the certain elements that are included in A cross B. Then you have to, if relation R contains 1, 2, and 3, 4. Then, excluding all these, the rest of the elements forms R complement. Okay, excluding those in R, the remaining ordered pairs in R forms R complement. So this is what we have discussed yesterday. So now let us move on to the next section. Did all of you join? Okay. So now I'm going into the next section, that is not the next section, just the representation of a relation. How do you represent relations? So there are 4 ways to represent relation, and first method is using the directed graph. So first way to represent a relation is using the directed graph. So to represent a relation R, we have 4 ways. The first method is using directed graph. Now using directed graph, here let us see an example. Let us see this example. Suppose you have a relation R is equal to 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2. Okay. Suppose you have a relation R is equal to suppose you have a relation R is equal to 1, 1, 1, 2 and 3, 2 defined on a set S is equal to 1, 2, 3. So this is our set S, and we have a relation defined on this set S, and the relation is directly given. That is, the ordered pairs are directly given. We needn't find the cross product S cross S. We need not find S cross S will include all these elements. That is, how many elements? A total of 3 square elements will be there, 9 elements will be there. Out of that, in the relation I had taken only 3 ordered pairs, that is 1, 1, 1, 2 and 3, 2. Okay. So let us see how this relation can be represented using the first method. And what is the first method? Directed graph method. So to represent the relation using directed graph method, we have to we represent it using nodes and edges. So here the nodes represent the elements in the given set S. That is 1, 2, 3 are the elements in the given set S, and then we draw directed edges based on the ordered pairs included in the relation. So 1, 1, 1, 2 and 3, 2. For defined on the set 1, 2, 3, we can represent it using a directed graph as follows. That is, what you have to do is you have to draw vertices for the elements in S. That is, you have the first element 1, first vertex 1, another vertex, the next element 2, and the third vertex is 3. So first you represent the elements of S as vertices, and then you look at the relation. So in the relation we see that there is an ordered pair 1, 1. So you have to draw a directed edge from 1 to 1 itself, SL2. Then there is an edge from 1 to 2. So from 1 you can draw an edge to 2, a directed arrow from 1 to 2. Then the next ordered pair is 3, 2. So from 3 you can draw a directed edge to 2. So this forms the directed graph of this particular relation. So this can be the first method of representing is using directed graph. Okay, so using directed graph, you have to represent the vertices of the given set first. The given set is S, that is 1, 2, 3, and you draw the elements as vertices of the directed graph, and the edges of the graph represents the ordered pairs in this relation in the given order. That is, if there is an ordered pair 1, 1, you have to draw a directed edge from 1 to 1. If the second ordered pair is 1, 2, so you have to draw a directed edge from 1 to 2. And the third ordered pair is 3, 2. So you have to draw a directed edge from 3 to 2. And this forms the directed graph for this particular relation defined on S. Okay, so if you're given a set S and a relation defined on this S, then to represent the relation graphically, the first method is using directed graph. Using directed graph, the first thing you have to do is look at the set, given set S, and we have 3 elements in the set. Each element of the set becomes the nodes in the directed graph. That is 1, 2, 3 are the elements in S. So that will become the nodes in the directed graph. And then you take the relation R. Inside the relation you have certain ordered pairs, and each ordered pair becomes directed edges in this graph. So first ordered pair is 1, 1. So you can draw an arc from 1 to 1. The second ordered pair is 1, 2. So you can draw an edge from 1 to 2. And the third ordered pair is 3, 2. So you can draw an edge from 3 to 2. So this is the directed graph of this particular relation. So this is the first method of representing relations. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear? What is the first method of representing relations? How do you represent relations graphically? What is the first method? What is the first method? Ajay? What is the first method of representing relations? To represent the relations graphically, we have 4 methods, out of which the first method is using the directed graph. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, Adarsh. If you have any doubt, just ask. Okay. The first method for representing relation is using directed graph. And in the directed graph, what are the nodes? What are the nodes in the directed graph? What forms the nodes of the directed graph? What will be the nodes? See, the nodes form the elements of the given set S. You have a given set S. These elements forms the nodes. So one is the elements in the given set forms the nodes, and the directed edges are the ordered pairs given in the relation. That is the first ordered pair 1, 1. So you draw a directed edge from 1 to 1. Second ordered pair 1, 2. So you draw an edge from 1 to 2, a directed arrow from 1 to 2. Third is 3 to 2. So draw a directed edge from 3 to 2. So here the number of vertices in this directed graph will be equal to the number of elements in the given set S. Okay. So that is clear to you. First method of representing is using directed graph. Now let us move on to the second method, and that is using relation matrix. The second method of representing a relation is using the relation matrix. Now in relation matrix, suppose you have two sets. Suppose 2 sets are given. See, suppose you have 2 sets, S and B are given. Okay. So now the second method of representing relations is using what? What is the second method? Hello? What is the second method? We call it as relation matrix or adjacency matrix. Okay. The second method of representing relations is using relation matrix or adjacency matrix. So, second method is using relation matrix or adjacency matrix. So the second method of representing relations is using relation matrix or adjacency matrix. Suppose you are given two matrices, S is equal to 1, 2, 3, and say B, another matrix B is equal to 0, 1. Okay, and you have a relation defined on this. Some relation is defined on this, and that is 1, 0, 1, 1, 2, 0, 3, 1. And this is the relation defined on these two sets. The relation from S to B is defined as follows. So to draw the relation matrix, now I want to represent this relation in the form of relation matrix. What we are trying to do is we are going to draw the graphical representation of a relation. So first method we represented using directed graph. The second method is using adjacency matrix. So in this we draw a matrix here, and one set forms the rows. So here I'm going to take S as the rows, and elements in the S will be 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to take B as columns here, and elements in B is 0 and 1, isn't it? So now after representing the matrix like this, that is the rows has set B, and S forms the rows and B forms the columns. Then I'm going to look at the relation R. There is an ordered pair 1, 0. So from 1 to 0, this in the first from S is 1, B is here S is 1, and B element of B is 0. So here we put a 1. Then next ordered pair is 1, 1. So S is 1, and this element belongs to S and this belongs to B. So S is 1, B is 1. So I put a 1 here. Okay. Next 2, 0. So 2, 0, I can put a 1. And next is 3, 1. From 3 to 1, set S contains 3 and set B, from B we have 1. So 3, 1, again I can put a 1. And the remaining elements will be zeros. Okay. Is it clear? So this is how you represent a relation matrix or adjacency matrix. That is, if there is a ordered pair, we put it as 1. If that ordered pair is absent, we put it as zeros. This is how you represent relation matrix. Is it clear? Or that matrix is also called adjacency matrix. Is it clear to you? Any doubt? How do you represent relation matrix or adjacency matrix? Given two sets, okay, if you're given two sets, one set will be taken as the rows and the other set will be taken as columns. The elements of the first set will act as rows and the elements of the second set will be taken. So this is our first set S 1, 2, 3, B is 0, 1. So the set S will be taken as rows, elements of S will form the rows, elements of B will form the columns, and looking at the ordered pairs, if the ordered pair is present from 1 to 0, you put a 1, and if it is not present, so that is 2, 1 is not there in this relation R, so you put a 0 there. If the elements are not related, then you put a 0. If the element is in the relation, that means they are related to each other, so for that you put a 1. So you get a matrix of zeros and ones, and this is also called adjacency matrix. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear? So this adjacency matrix is represented as A of ST. Here the second set is taken as T. I had taken it as B. So here the second set is named as T. So A of ST is equal to 1 if that ordered pair from S to T is an element of R, and if that ordered pair is not present, then you put 0 in that matrix. So look at this adjacency matrix. Given the relation R, given a relation R, we have 0, 0. In the relation, we have 0, 0, 1, 0, and 2, 1. And S is 0, 1, 2, and B is 0, 1. So as rows, we have elements of S, and as columns, we have elements of B. So 0, 1, 2 forms the elements of S, and that forms the rows of the matrix. And B, elements of B, the second set B, it forms the columns. And so that is the elements of B is 0 and 1, it forms the columns. And look at the relation R. You have the first ordered pair 0, 0. So you can put in 0, 0, you can put a 1 because that 0, 0 ordered pair is present. So under 0, 0, you can put a 1. Next ordered pair is 1, 0. So your row is 1 and your column is 0. Okay, and there also again you can put a 1. So this is the first order pair, I had put a 1. Then this is the second order pair, again there I had put a 1. And the third order pair is 2, 1. So under 2 row, second row, that is the element of S is 2, B is 1. There I had put a 1. And the remaining ordered pairs are not there, so I had put zeros. And this is known as adjacency matrix and S of T. And it is 1 if the element is, if ST is an element of R and it is 0 otherwise. If the ordered pair is not there, then it is 0. Is it clear? Did you understand how to represent using adjacency matrix? Hello? Any doubt in that? Agarsh മനസ്സിലായോ എങ്ങനെയാണ് റെപ്രസെന്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നതെന്ന്? എല്ലാവരും ശ്രദ്ധിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ? So these are some representations that we see in when we come to relations. So you should know what it means. So let us go on to the third method of representing relations, that is arrow diagram. The third method is by using arrow diagram. So let us see what arrow diagram is. Third method of representing relations. So here let us see that we have a relation R, and we are not giving the set, the original set and all. We just want to represent this relation as a graph. So in the relation R, we have the following ordered pairs, and to represent these ordered pairs graphically, yes, the set is P is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and this Q is equal to ABCD. So the first ordered pair belongs to P, and the second ordered pair belongs to Q. So P has elements 1, 2, 3, 4, and the second set Q has elements ABCD. So how many elements will be there in P cross Q? How many elements will be there in how many elements is cardinality of P cross Q? What is the cardinality of P cross Q? What is the cardinality of P cross Q? What is the cardinality? What is the cardinality of P cross Q? No one knows? 16. Yes, Reval, 16. Why? Akash, Ashwin. Why 16? We have 4 elements in the first set and 4 elements in the second set. So if first element has m elements, second element has n elements, then the cross product of these two sets will have mn elements. So here 4 into 4, we have 16 elements in the cross product, isn't it? But how many elements have I shown in the relation? How many elements are shown in the relation? Even though there are 16 elements in the cross product, out of the 16, the relation contains only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 elements, 8 ordered pairs. Okay. So out of this 8 ordered pairs, I want to represent this relation as a arrow diagram. So how to represent the arrow diagrams as follows? What you have to do is take the first set P, and this represents the first set P. You draw an ellipse like this, a vertical ellipse, and then write the elements of P inside the first ellipse. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 is written inside with a dot. You have to put a dot also, and then write the elements there. Then you draw another ellipse by the side and represent the second element Q. So this is P and this is Q. Okay, and write the elements inside with put a dot and write the elements. Okay, and here you have elements B, elements of Q, that is A, B, C, D. Now, I want to represent the relation from P to Q. This is the relation defined from P to Q. So to represent the relation, look at the ordered pairs. We have to represent the ordered pairs in this graphical form. So that is, the first ordered pair is 1A. So from 1, draw a straight line to A. So this is a straight line and put an arrow. Okay, so that ordered pair is over. Now next ordered pair is 1B. From 1 you can draw a straight line to B and put an arrow to B. Okay, so that is the second ordered pair. So third ordered pair is from 1 to C. Draw a straight line from 1 to C and put an arrow there. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? So next ordered pair is 2B. Okay, from 2 you can draw a straight line to B and put an arrow. Then next ordered pair is 2C. Again from 2 to C you can draw a line and put an arrow. The next is 2D. Draw a straight line from 2 to D and put an arrow. Okay. Is it clear? Next one is so next ordered pair is 4D. Okay. Now to represent 4D, you have to draw a straight line from 4 to D and put an arrow. Okay, this is from 4 to D, you have to put an arrow. Next ordered pair is 3D. So from 3 to D, you have to draw a line and put an arrow. This is the most common representation for relations. Usually, this is the notation which we see in textbooks and all. That is, the arrow diagram is used to represent. The most common representation of relations is by using arrow diagrams. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear? Did you understand how to represent it? Hello? Okay. Hope there is no doubt. You are just drawing lines from set A to set B, and if the ordered pair is present in the relation, you are drawing the line and putting the arrow. But if the ordered pair is not present, we are not drawing lines. This is the most common representation. Okay. So that is the third method, that is using arrow diagram to represent relations. Now the next method is using relation tables. Last method of representing relations is using relation tables. So let us take the same example, this example itself, that is P is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, Q is equal to A, B, C, D. Okay, the first set P is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, Q is equal to A, B, C, D, and the relation defined on it R is this relation. Okay, everything is given to you, we are just representing it using relations. So given two sets P and Q, we have to represent the two sets here. That is, we are representing P as rows and Q as columns. Elements of P is 1, 2, 3, 4, elements of Q is A, B, C, D. Then look at the relation. If in the relation that ordered pair is present, then we put a cross in that box. Okay, if it is not present, we leave it blank. See, in this relation we have 1A, 1B, 1C, isn't it? So here in the relation we have to put a cross in those boxes. So in the relation R, 1A is present, so you put a cross. 1B is present, again you put a cross. 1C is also present, you put a cross. Now what are the other ordered pairs? What are the other ordered pairs? The other ordered pairs are see 2B, 2C, 2D. Okay, 2B, 2C and 2D. So again in this relation, see from 2 to B you can put a cross. 2B, 2C and 2D is there. So from 2 to B you put a cross, 2 to C you can put a cross, 2 to D you can put a cross. Then next element is 3D. So there in that column and the last pair is 4D. So if the ordered pair is present, draw this table and put a cross corresponding to that ordered pair. So when you represent this table, the rows represent one set and the columns represent the second set. You have two sets. P and Q, the rows represents the first set and the columns represent second set. Suppose it is defined on the same set from P to P. Suppose it is defined only on one set, that is, if the relation is defined on P cross P, then in rows you have to represent P as well as in columns also you have to represent P. If only one set is given, the rows and columns will be the same set. If two sets are given, if the relation is defined on two sets, then row will be one set and column will be the second set. For everything it is like that. Even here in arrow diagram also, if only P is given, then if only P is given, then here both the ellipses represent the set P. Okay, if only P is given, then it is a mapping from P to P. That is, it is a mapping on P cross P. So both the elements will be P, and here also you will be having 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, if only one set is given. If two sets are given, P and Q are given, then this will be P and the second one will be Q. And inside that you have to represent elements of P. Inside the second ellipse you have to represent elements of Q. Okay. So these are the four ways in which you can represent relations. Is it clear? Is it clear? What are the four methods of representing relation? What was the first method of representing relations? What was the first method? You have to write it down in your notebook. Okay, Anjita, what is the first method which I had discussed? Anjita, Anujit, Anurag. There were four methods. Are you writing it down? Very good. A directed graph. Okay, first method of representing was directed graph. Second method. That was the last method, isn't it? Relation matrix. Second method. That was the third method, Ashwin. Arrow diagram was the third method. Second method. Relation table was the last method. What was the second method you forgot? So you are not writing it down. Arrow diagram was the third method. Second method was relation matrix or adjacency matrix. Okay, the third method was relation matrix, also called adjacency matrix. Relation matrix or adjacency matrix. And here, in relation matrix or adjacency matrix, we represent it using a matrix form. Okay, this is the matrix. You draw a matrix in square brackets. See, have you seen this? This is a matrix in square bracket. Just like I hope you have studied matrices. Here, this is a matrix in square bracket. Inside that, you have to represent the elements. Okay, the most common method which we use for programming. In programming, we use this matrix. The matrix is the most common method for representing relations. Okay, so these are the four methods for representing relations. It's very easy. Just you can read through and find out what are the methods. Okay. Then next. So these were the four methods. Then we had discussed this earlier. That is a relation. If there is only a single set A. If there is only a single set A, then we define the relation on A cross A. Only one relation is there. A relation on a set A is a relation from A to A, which is a subset of A cross A. So let if A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, then yesterday we had solved this. If R is a relation defined on A such that A divides B. So looking at this set itself, we will be able to write down instead of writing. So for the first step, what you should do is write A cross A, isn't it? once you are given a set A, the first step you have to write is find this to write. You have to write down A cross A and find out the elements that satisfies A divides B relation. Okay, so that is the usual step. Here also you have to write A cross A, and from the A cross A you will get an ordered set of ordered pairs. How many ordered pairs will be there in A cross A if A has 4 elements? How many ordered pairs will be there in A cross A if A has 4 elements? How many ordered pairs will be there in A cross A if A has 4 elements? 16, isn't it? 4 into 4, 16 elements will be there. Okay, right. So there will be 16 elements, and out of these 16 ordered pairs, those ordered pairs that satisfy A divides B relation is added to this relation set. Okay, is added to this relation set. And that is 1 divides 1, 1 divides 2, 1 divides 3. Again, 1 divides 4. Then 2 divides 2, 2 divides 4, 3 divides 3, and 3. These are the ordered pairs that satisfies A divides B relation. So that relation we can represent using graphically as follows. Usually when you are asked to draw the graphical representation, you can go for the arrow diagram, which is the most common representation. So the first set A, as I said, if there is only one set, then both the ellipses will represent here. The first ellipse represents elements of A, second ellipse also represent A, since it is a relation on A cross A. Only one set is given, so we are taking ordered pairs in A cross A. So first inside that we represent elements of A, 1, 2, 3, 4. Second also you represent 1, 2, 3, 4, and look at the relation. 1, 1 is there, so draw a directed line from 1 to 1. Then 1, 2 is there, draw a directed line from 1 to 2. 1, 3 is also there, 1, 4 is also there. Then next is 2, 2, so draw a directed line from 2 to 2. Then 2 to 4, 2 divides 4. Then 3 divides 3, 4 divides 4. So just write the relation and draw the graphical representation. Okay. Then, next we have one example 2. How many relations are there on a set with n elements? How many relations are defined for a set with n elements? Can anyone say the answer? How many relations can be? I think we discussed it yesterday. How many relations are there for a set with n elements? Write down the question. How many relations? How many relations are there for a set with n elements? Suppose a set A has cardinal number of A is n. N elements means the cardinal number of set A is n. So, how many subsets can be formed with n elements? How many subsets can be formed for a set with n elements? If a set has n elements, how many subsets can be formed? For a set with n elements, how many subsets can be formed? How many subsets can be formed for a set with n elements? We had discussed it earlier, 2 classes before. How many? Anurag. So just find out the answer for this question, okay? Did you write down the question? Please write down the answer. by 11:30, isn't it? Hello? Anurag, can you hear me? Hello? Anjita? Okay, Ashwin. So you joined by 11:30, okay? I'll take attendance by 11:30. Next hour is also BMS. Okay, join by 11:30.